Yes, next topic. What do you have?
Yes. So last one or next one I have is Facebook going into, or I guess really releasing some like one of their newest products, right? I don't even know if it's considered a product at this point. But right now, what they're doing is, or what they've recently done is they're working with, what's that
Ray-Ban.
company? There we go. Ray-Ban, to create augmented glasses. So these Ray-Bans look just like normal Ray-Bans, except on both sides they have like small cameras. From my understanding, it's 5 megapixels, so it's still, relatively relatively weak compared to any phone. But yeah, they're trying to move into the whole AR space. And I think what makes this most interesting is that Facebook has spent so much like time, money, resources per se, building out their AR, VR divisions, right? So is this, this product might not be the best right now, but is this really just like the beginning of a new era for Facebook? What are your thoughts?
Honestly, it reminds me of like a spy movie, where the guy puts on like, Mission Impossible or whatever, put on that thing, and then all of a sudden you've got the whole computer in your system detecting this, detecting that. So I think it's really
Facebook could just be like, this person from this is like their latest photos, this is their latest photos, this is what they like.
I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? But no, I think it's, whether it's a sort of a tangent or an expansion of the Oculus business towards the AR VR space, I'm not entirely sure. But I think it's an area that Zuckerberg is quite interested in going into wearables, smart wearables. And I think right now it's still in testing phase, or is it launched?
No, you can buy it now.
Got it. Oh, very cool.
$300 US.
It's very early adopter right now. A 5 megapixel, I wouldn't buy it, to be honest. Save my money for something else. But I think it's a experiment step for Facebook.
You mean like for Apple launch? Yeah, I think next week we inevitably have to talk about Apple. So new product launches coming in for Apple. But yeah, my thoughts on Facebook's hardware game plan. Okay, so Facebook, amongst the big tech, is not the only guy trying to do hardware. Of course, the biggest one is Apple, and Apple has a lot of money coming in from hardware, right? So they have very big margins, and they essentially built the whole walled garden idea. And they have huge margins. It's not a commodity play, and they are way ahead of all their other people in the same league, right? So they are essentially they are in a league of their own. And with that, Google tried to do it, right? Google tried to buy Motorola, right, in their pursuit of trying to enter the hardware space. And I think that's one of their worst moves because they bought Motorola. Anyway, not important. The idea is, a lot of all these big tech guys, they all want to be in the hardware space. They all want to have some sort of hardware ecosystem that they can play on to allow them to have the kind of physical interaction with a lot of their users. So whether it's Sony, whether it's Nintendo, whether it's Xbox, Apple, whatever right? All these guys, they have built a physical hardware in your house, and you hold them around, and they build some sort of cloud ecosystem on top of it with all the additional services, additional software integration, and additional stuff. So I think this Ray-Ban release together with Facebook, which is part of their Oculus, integration, which they have already bought it since 2014, right? So Facebook bought Oculus in 2014 for $2 billion, right? So what I'm seeing is, instead of creating a pure hardware play, Facebook looks like they're going into a platform play, right? So instead of just releasing Oculus as its own gadget series, like a Xiaomi or like a Samsung or like a, whatever they're going to build a platform. So they're going to open up to third-party developers. They're going to open up to license the infrastructure to third-party brands and grow in a much faster fashion. Right, so it's interesting to see if this is a pivot instead of releasing their own hardware purely, because they tried for Portal, they tried, with the Oculus, their own glasses and what have you. They tried many times, but looks like they may have taken a pivot, which I actually quite like the pivot play, because it's less heavy on their manufacturing processes, it's less heavy on the supply chain. Not everybody can be an Apple. Apple has optimized their supply chain over the years, man. Tim Cook has done a great job in optimizing supply chain and processes, right? So if you think about it, I like that Facebook is doing something like this relative to doing their own hardware. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. What are your thoughts, CS? I mean, you asking us. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't really know. Like, I don't think like all I was aware of prior to this release was that they went on a hiring spree for a lot of talent in the AR VR space, right? So
Wait, do you mean like Ray-Ban or
no, Facebook.
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
yeah. So I think 20-30% like their workforce is now in this division, right? So they are definitely trying to like really grow the space. And I'm just curious, like, is this related to this, or how does that all play out? So yeah, I mean, I'll need a few more data points before I can really say, or before I'm ready to like guess or take a more educated stance.
Yeah. No, fair.
Oh,
Early times, but I think it's exciting though if they somehow manage to crack it.
yeah. I think they will crack it. Is in
You think?
their pipeline. They have to do. They've spent too much money already, so they have to crack it. And I think they're relatively close already compared to other platform guys, right? So they are in the last leg of trying to crack the hardware code. So we shall see.